Hello guys, my name is Michael, and today we are going to talk no tutorial about entries, and today we are going to talk about some signals which you can apply to these entries, and of course new two functions which we will work with them too, and so on. Okay, for this let me show you something. When I run the program now and I type something here, if I hit enter, nothing's happened, so we need to make this thing happens, which means by doing this means that you need to catch a signal which is called activate. This activate signal helps you when you press enter, for example, to save the text somewhere, and so on. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the reference GTK-Entry. So we are here. We go to signals. Here is the activate signal, and says the activate signal is emitted when the user hits enter key. So while this signal is used as a key bin, is also a commonly used by application to intercept activation of entry, whatever. Okay, this means this activate signal needs a function which looks like this. Okay, so let's work with this function. Okay, let's call it entry callback. Okay, now what do we need? We need a signal to connect to this entry. So for this we need G signal connect swap it. I'm using this because I don't want to use both pointers, the both parameter here. So I will drop this one because I don't need it. It's not important. So we are now working now, and by doing this basically we want to work only with the entry. So this means the first parameter will be our entry, as you already know. The second one is the signal, which is the activate signal. The third one is our callback, G callback function, which we created, this one. And the fourth one is of course our entry, because we are swapping. So this means we are sending this we are swapping this one with this one, which is the same, and then we send it here. So by meaning we are not going to need two parameters. Okay, now let's see, for example, we are going to use now GTK-Entry get set text. We already learned in the last tutorial. So let's say constant char text, and then GTK-Entry get text, which says we need our entry, so it's here. Okay, now we are going to print this text. By doing this, we'll say, let's say text is let me put the mouse outside. Okay, because as you can see, activate needs void. We not need to return something. Okay, we'll let the wait with this. So we call it the G signal connect swap, where we pass it the entry, and then we connect the activate signal to this entry. By doing this, we are connecting this entry callback function, and we pass entry as a parameter. Okay, let's run the program and see what happens. Now I will type something, I will hit enter. As you can see, the text is here, and if you need to write more text, you see it stays there, which is messing on, and we're going to fix this. And by doing this, basically we need to call set text, like you already learned. The set text I told you in the last function, in the last tutorial. Once that you call it, it will erase everything, all the text, and replaces with a new one. So this is a very good thing for you. What this basically means, like I already told you in the last tutorial, it is a function which let you to overwrite if I can call it like this, an already text which is present. So let's see, entry. This is the first one, and the second one we'll just use an empty this time because we don't need something special. So let's see the function again. The entry callback, we are calling it, and then we get the text, we print it, and then after we print the text, we replace the text with an empty text so that we can provide a new one. So let's see if it works. I will type something, hello, it's gone. After I hit enter, you see hello world, and it's gone and works fine. And this is basically the way how you are working with entry call. This is I will show it here because we don't need it anymore. You know how it works. Let's see this function now. Let's call this function, which is we can get a length, so we are going to pass it here, whatever. So let's pass it here, and then this function takes let's see what the GTK guys says about this function. So anyway, the name says everything, but just to be there, just to be sure. Okay, it's not showing. Let me pass it here, and says retrieve the current length of the text in the entry. Okay, so and it's only a parameter, which is this GTK entry. So if this is our parameter which we needed, we will pass it here, and then I will extend here with let's say len is equal to, oh wait, sorry guys, because this function returns G16, so by calling this function we need to point it to, let's say, len. Okay, so we save the len into this variable, and then we will print it here together with the text. So when I run now the program, as you can see, if I type hello, will be 5, hello world will be 11 because we have a space there, and so on, you see, and works fine. So this is the way how you get the length. Just let me, so by doing this, basically you call this function, you save it into a variable. You already know that. I don't need to explain you now. And then after you do that, after you save it, you can print it together with the text. So this is about the GTK entry get text. Okay, the next function, this function here says GTK entry set icon from icon name. Okay, this is very interesting. Let's see. Let's call this function. Okay, I heard, I don't like those searches anyway. I do it here. So says GTK entry set icon from icon name. Set the icon from the entry at the specified position from the current icon name. So there are a lot of things here. Okay, we are not going to read now this. You have enough time, but I'm going to call this function, which needs 3 parameters. The first one is the entry, the second is the icon position, and the last one is the icon name. Okay, this means let's call this function, and now let's see those 3 parameters. The first one is our entry. Okay, so this means GTK entry. This is our first parameter. The second one says GTK entry position, which there are 2. It is icon primary secondary, which says at the beginning of the entry or at the end of the entry. You'll see it in a moment. Okay, and the last one says, if you go back here, the last one says it is icon name. So if you don't know which icon name is, of course, if you follow my videos, my previous video, you already know that. But if you are not sure about that, you just go here, you search, you type icon name the way it is, and then you scroll here, and somewhere you'll see okay, I will write icons, icon name like this, and icon name specification, you see here. And once that you're here, you go down here, and here you have standard icon name. So you just take one. For example, let's take this one, call start. I will throw it here. I think it is a string. I don't want to mess the things here. Yes, it is a string. Okay, so by meaning you need a double quote. Okay, and now when I run the program, watch. You see, here is the icon now. You see this icon? So this one is there. You can change it if you want its position to be on the other side by calling the secondary. Let me change it from primary to secondary. Now I run the program, and now you see the icon is here, and this is very important that you know what exactly do you need. You need your icon to be there, or you need the icon to be in another part, I mean at the beginning or at the end, and so on. There is also a thing, a very important thing which I forgot. There is another function which we needed before we work with those two signals. There's a function which is called I think activable is entry set icon activable. Yes, I forgot about this because we need this function to make it work. So let me copy it for a moment. Let me drop it here because we need this function too. And now let's see what the function does. I will copy it, no, whatever. Says set whatever the icon is activable. So by meaning, what means this? I will show you in a moment. I will just call this function now here, and then it says needs 3 parameters. The first is the entry, the second is the position, and the last one is true or false, if it should be activable. False, it is the way it is right now. True, by making true you can activate this icon. What this means you'll see in a moment. Icon position, let me take this one here and then pass the true here. So we set it to be activable. Once that we have with activable, we can create our signals, and we can catch them. Sorry, icon press and icon release. Let's work with this one now. So let me copy this part here. Let me pass the icon press, change this to icon press callback. Now that we have it, we can create it. So icon press, let's see the signals, because this is very important. Signals of GTK-entry are activate, icon press. There are a lot. We are just working with icon press. Says it is a void function which takes 4 parameters, as you can see here. So this means we create our icon press callback now. Okay, it's here. Now that we have its signature, we need those 4 parts. So the first one is the entry, the second one is the position, the next one is the event which you need to catch when this happens, and the last one is your G pointer. Okay, it's a little bit ugly, I will fix it in a moment. Okay, now that we have them all the way should be, let me throw it here, up to. I will not going to use these parameters now because it's not so important. What you decide to do with this parameter, it's your decision. What do you need to catch, what do you need to show, and so on. So I will just silence them because I only need to catch this signal now, and that's it. So by doing this, let's say gprint the icon was press. Okay, I will save it, and says we have a problem here. I think, let's see, GTK entry, yeah, of course, because we have two commas here. Let's compile this and run it, and now let's see, we created a program until now, or we have a text where we catch the activates when we basically when we type something and hit enter, it's working. We catch the text and its length, and then we moved by creating an icon. We put the icon on the left, on the right side, the way you want to, and then we set this icon to be activable so that we can catch some signals on this icon. This means, watch, when I press on this icon here, says the icon was pressed, you see, and if you need this, it's there. You know now how it's working. The same things happens for release. So let me create a release. Okay, release. The same things for release goes in the same manner. So I will just create a new function here. So the icon was release. I will copy the name because we don't need to create again. I just want to show you. I run the program the way it is. As I can see, I press, icon was pressed, icon was released, icon was pressed, icon was released. And this is basically how you handle signals together with entries when you are working into your program. And this is the way how you understand what they mean when they said signals to for your entries. So let me fix it a little bit to throw it here to have it maybe for later, if when we are working with these icons and so on, callbacks. And that being said, I think we covered everything. Until now we know how to call entry, we know how to set a special name for our entry so that we can set some CSS styles, and then we set icon name to call start or whatever, which icon name you want to do, contact new, whatever. This is just your decision which kind of icon name you give there. You have them there, they are all those standards. You can create yours and whatever. You see now you have different one and here and so on. And once that we created, we set it to be activable. If for some reason you want that icon to be pressed and released or something like this, you have to activate it. Once that you activate it, then you call these two functions to icon press and icon release signal to be catched on your entry. The same story with the activates, because if you hit enter, then your message is saved into a text. Once it saves, then you can catch its length and so on. And you already saw how, and you can avoid once that you hit enter to replace the text with an empty space so that you can type another text inside there. Okay, that being said, thank you guys for watching, and if you like it, please subscribe, and until next time, see you guys.